It's 99% of people who try what I did for 7 years at a high level won't ever stop. I was going to be the 1%. Don't we all want to be the 1%? That's why we're here, right? That's why we're hustlers, right? Because we want to be the freaking 1%. So I was like, I'm going to be the 1% of baseball, SEC baseball player. I want to be the 1% in life financially. And I want to continue to be the 1% in the opiate epidemic.
From addiction to ambition, Ryan Gallardo.
What is up? What is up? Everybody doing good? Awesome, man. I am feeling great right now. I'm appreciative that I've been given the opportunity to speak and tell a little bit about my story. See, about 4 years ago, a little less than 4 years ago, I was in the act of killing myself. And I remember I was holding the knife over my wrist, and I was like shaking, and I was crying, and I was scared because I knew it was going to hurt. But at the same time, like, I had nothing else to live for. So I just wanted to die. So I was about to do it. And right before I made my first cut, or was about to make my first cut, I saw my mom's face. Just came into my head. I saw my dad's face, my sister, my grandparents, everything that I had ever loved, my friends that left me, my fiance that left me. Everything just came flying back into my head. And I remember I just became overwhelmed with emotion, and I like dropped to my knees, and I was screaming, crying, shaking, and I dropped the knife. And I was like, is this going to be your story? Like when people ask, like, man, what happened to that baseball player, that catcher from Alpharetta? What's his name? Gallardo, Ryan Gallardo. What happened to him? Oh, dude, you didn't hear that? That's a messed up story. So goes to Tennessee to play baseball, ends up getting hooked on Roxy's real bad. Throws it all away, loses his baseball career, flunks out of college, comes back home, gets addicted to heroin. In and out of drug rehabs, detoxes, stealing, pawning. Actually was homeless for a little bit, sleeping on a throw-up mattress behind a dumpster. And then I come back, and he ends up stealing from one of his best friends. And he gets caught. And his friends are like, that's it. I'm never talking to you again. You can forget it. Then a fiance, girlfriend of 5 years, calls the wedding off a couple months before. Says, I'm leaving you too. Then the next morning, his mom walks into the room and finds him in a pool of blood because he killed himself. I'm like, that can't be my story. It just can't be. You see, 94% of people that ever try heroin will never stop doing heroin. They actually say it's closer to 99%, but since people got HIPAA laws, they're in anonymous programs, they're not self-reporting, it's 99% of people who try what I did for 7 years at a high level won't ever stop. I was going to be the 1%. Don't we all want to be the 1%? That's why we're here, right? That's why we're hustlers, right? Because we want to be the freaking 1%. So I was like, I'm going to be the 1% of baseball, SEC baseball player. I want to be the 1% in life financially. And I want to continue to be the 1% in the opiate epidemic. You see, about 3 to 4 months after that night, I was clean from heroin, and I got an Instagram notification that said, people you may know. And I look at it, and I'm like, oh, man, I remember this dude. I used to ride the bikes with him in the neighborhood, go swimming in the pool, ride the bus. We were in the same elementary school. Like, he's in my yearbook, like, right here. I'm like, what is he up to? So I click on his Instagram. And he's in, like, California, like, talking. He's on a podcast. He's the CEO of his own tech company. And I was like, dude, this guy's getting it. But, like, I was right there with him. Like, he grew up in the same neighborhood. So I'm like, I'm going to hit him up. I'm like, what do I have to lose? He didn't know that I had just destroyed my life from 18 to 25, 7 years of doing dope, in and out the bluffs all the time, and walking distance to the bluff. I know exactly where I am. And so we hung out. And there was something different. There was an energy. There was, every time I said something negative, he would correct it. If I was like, oh, one day I'm going to do this, he'd be like, why one day? Like, why don't you do it right now? Or like, if I had this, or if I was smart enough to do this, I would just do it. And he's like, you are. I started a company out of my basement. Like, you could do anything you want if you have the right thing up here, and then you put the action in with it. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to try something. I have nothing. I have no career. I have no degree. I had just been fired from the past 2 jobs for doing heroin on the job. I was nothing. And this kid is out here killing it. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna correct myself. Every single time, just like he would correct me when I said something negative, I'm going to correct myself. Just go 90 days. Create a habit, right? 30, 60, 90 days went by, and then all of a sudden I started to realize I didn't have to correct as much. Yes, I was a junkie. I was a drug addict. I'm a liar. I'm a sinner. I am gonna say negative things and think negative things. It's just human nature. But if I immediately correct it every single time for 90 days straight, you'd be amazed what you can do. Your brain is a muscle. And if you work it, just like someone gets in the gym for 90 days, loses a bunch of weight, and looks at their body and had no clue that they are capable of doing this. It's the same thing up here. If you hold yourself accountable and correct yourself every single time you say something negative against yourself or negative towards the end goal of what you're trying to manifest for your perfect life, dude, it's a weird, weird alignment feeling. And during this, I started to realize that I had multiple voices in my head. Some people call them voices. Some people say they're thoughts. Some people call them demons, you know. And I noticed that the second voice was the one that I needed to listen to. It's the one that was looking out for me. And run with me here, okay? To give you an example of what I mean by the second voice, okay? So say I'm 4 months clean, and I'm like, man, I could do a Roxy right now and be on cloud 9 for like $20. But then I'm not physically addicted, so I don't have to worry about the crapping and the throwing up and the physical withdrawal tomorrow. And then I'm not mentally addicted, so I'll just do one, and then I won't do anything else. Well, then the second voice comes in and it's like, you dumb motherfucker. Why would you do that? You just threw away 7 years of your life, lost everything. You got a little piece, a couple months, and you're going to, like, blow it on a Roxy, the same shit that, like, tore your whole life down? And then there'd be a third, a fourth, a fifth, like, oh, man, do I have numbers in my phone? Like, did I delete any numbers? Where could I get a Roxy? I realized it's all bullshit. Why am I listening to things that are trying to take me down? Right? I know which one gave me the right advice. It was the second one, the correcting one. And the problem is everybody listens to all the other BS, and it's not you. Listen to that second correcting voice when it calls you out on your shit. It will be in alignment with your inner self, what you actually want, your heart, your morals. And so I started listening to the second voice. So I'm like, okay, I got a good thing going. I'm correcting myself every time I put myself down or anytime I speak something into existence that's not working towards the end goal of what I want to manifest in my life. And then listen to my second voice. Back. Good? That's the one that's got my back. And then one of the biggest keys hit me right there, about 90 to 100 days into this experiment. If I had never hung out with Jonathan Hessing, would I have ever thought to think like that? I don't know. Never thought it before until I hung out with him. And that's right, kid from the block is that sexy salt and pepper looking dude right there. Shout out Hess. And it got me thinking, my mom and dad, you can ask them, they're here. They say all the time, tell me who your friends are. Tell me who you're hanging out with, and I'll tell you who you are or who you're about to become. And I was like, I got it, right? 25 years old, I finally figured out to listen to my freaking parents. Shout out mom and dad. But, tell me who your friends are. Tell me who you're hanging out with. What are they thinking? What's their energy like? What are they doing in their life? Are they manifesting positivity? Are they boosting you up, or are they just talking shit? What are they doing with action? I don't want to hear words. I want action. If you say you're going to do something, let's freaking do it, and I'll ride behind you. But I don't just want to hear words. And then I remember someone told me this, and it's incredible. We're all companies. Every single one of us is a company. You make money, Steph? I know you do. You make money. Okay, so she's got income. You got expenses, right? You pay bills, got expenses. What's left in the middle? Come on, business people. The profit, right? So you can either choose to save it, invest it in yourself, or blow it. And I started thinking, like, all companies have to make huge decisions that can bring them down to a dumpster mattress, or they can bring you up to the top. So every good company has an incredible board of advisors. Who do I have around me? Who's advising this company right here that I'm trying to build and grow? I'm starting from down here. I'm trying to get here. Who's going to be my board of advisors? When I'm about to make the biggest decision of my life, who's sitting there? See, a board of advisors is a group of trusted individuals that a company specifically handpicked to give them the best advice because they have different perspectives on the company, right? They have the company's best interests at heart. They have different backgrounds, so they can give different input. And I saw a golden opportunity. I was like, I have no friends. I have 0 friends. The phone is not going to ring, and I got no one to call. Ask my mom. I used to always say the dog was my best friend. And so I was like, I got to build the best freaking board of advisors that anyone has ever seen. I got to start right now. So I question you, who's on your board? When you're about to make a huge decision that could take you to the top or drive you into the dumpster, who's giving you advice? What have they done? Who do you want in your circle? Tell me who your friends are. Tell me who you hang out with, and I'll tell you who you are or who you're about to become. And if you're sitting there checking yourself, checking your board, being like, oh, then it's time to get a new freaking board, right? See, we all live in a society where we just get judged off our covers. Okay, every single one of us probably has an Instagram or a Facebook, right? And you go on there and you think people are doing this, doing that, doing this, and you have no clue what's on the inside. You're just a damn book on the shelf. I'm going to pick you up, look at your cover, judge you, and if I don't care, I'm putting it back. But no one gets to read the pages inside. And I was like, man, I got empty pages. Like, I need to write my story. Create a life by design. Shout out Clint Crow. Hustle up. Create a life by design. So I was like, I'm going to write my story. I'm not going to walk through in a fog anymore. I'm going to take these steps, correcting myself every single time I was negative. 2, listen to the second voice always. 3, make sure your board of advisors is on frickin' point. 4, write your story. It could be whatever you want it. And then lastly, you have to appreciate. I started this whole thing off with appreciation. It's the biggest key. I remember that I was sitting on an outside patio having dinner with my girlfriend, the best girlfriend ever. Shout out Meg Presswood back there. And I remember I was just staring out, and I was like, this is incredible. And I remember she was like, babe, what are you looking at? Like, what are you thinking about? What's wrong? And I'm like, nothing's wrong. I just like, this is amazing. She's like, yeah, the weather's nice. You know, like it's nice dinner. And I'm like, no, man. I still remember looking up at the stars, and I had the throw-up mattress, the dumpster, and the trash next to me. And now I'm here in Buckhead having a great lunch with the love of my life. And I got no worries. I'm going home to a beautiful home. I'm going home to a beautiful girlfriend, a beautiful supporting family and friend group. I can't ask for anything. I've reached the top. But it was that little bit of appreciation, just sitting at a restaurant, understanding where you could be. And all of us are selfish Americans who think that we could just go through life and it's all good. And we complain about our bullshit problems that aren't freaking problems. I can show you real problems. So I was like, if I follow these steps, what can I do? And in 4 years, I think I've done pretty well. And I would say that my life is amazing right now. And I love every bit of it, and I'm so grateful that you guys gave me a couple minutes to tell my story.